Hello there, brothers and sisters. Here I am again. Well, you know, somebody brought a story up today that made me think about David and how at any point in time, let's say while he's out there tending to the flock, let's say a lion comes up and, or a bear or something like that, let's say, gets the upper hand on him, and well, at the end of the day, he doesn't come in with the flock. Maybe they send out some people looking for what might be left of him. Kind of almost like a sacrificial job. Like high risk, little reward. Kind of a lonely job. And well, nobody really cares too much about you. I mean, I guess my point is has anybody ever looked at it like we gotta send somebody out there against Goliath. Let's go get this guy. Nobody really cares too much about him. He's kind of sacrificial, and he seems like he's up for the job. I mean, I'm not trying to put words into the Bible, but it does kind of seem like nobody cared too much about him. Whatever happened to him, no big deal. To send him out there is like, kind of like not even the sacrificial lamb, but more of a scapegoat. Not much of a sacrifice there. Like if he goes out and David dies, no big deal, right? It's just David, just that shepherd boy. Like could have been a lion or a bear that got him. So whatever, It doesn't seem like anybody really respected him too much. He just kind of had this lonely, crappy life, and well, he had his livestock to hang out with, and plenty of time to get to know our Heavenly Father. And I think in all that time that he was just kind of hanging out with his livestock and get to know our Heavenly Father, he came to, a pretty strong relationship with our Heavenly Father, but just an understanding that you can't reach when you're just in the hive, when you're in the hustle bustle, the daily grind, and so yeah, I don't know, but it's kind of, maybe it's just I'll just hang tight until there's some Goliath. Then you guys could all let me know when there's some Goliath to worry about. I'll just be out here hanging out with my livestock, And if there's some Goliath, if anybody has any troubles whatsoever, like some form of a Goliath or a giant or some kind of problem, let me know. Till then, I'll just be out here with the livestock. It's interesting that Martin Luther King Jr. had rallies of people around surrounding him and supporting him. He only got a few opportunities to publicly really speak. I mean, there was no YouTube and whatnot back then. I love YouTube. I appreciate YouTube, but and I'm glad everybody that wants to have a voice can kind of have a voice. But everything's highlighted. It's just TMI. It's impossible to get any information out there. I think, even if everybody doesn't have deaf ears, they're just hearing so much that they're not able to separate it all out. And nothing really said is ever all that important. Nothing ever heard seems to be all that important. And but anyway, yeah, Martin Luther King, or Martin Luther King Jr., you see him in different pictures and some film that, some, old film video, surrounded by people supporting him. They weren't cowards. He was standing up for this and that, and he was fighting for this and that, and trying to fight the good fight, fighting the good cause against the rotten system, and people loved him and supported him. And they weren't cowards, actually. It wasn't just a digital footprint of a support, it was actual physical there. Like, let's just say if Martin Luther King Jr. would have been, hosed down by a fully automatic weapon, other people in the crowd may have been killed too. I think they were aware of that, right? I mean, look at some of the film of the time. Anyway, it's just a generation ago when people weren't cowards. And now we live in a generation that's just basically completely cowards. So yeah. Anyway, just kind of some small talk. I'm gonna keep this video short. Just basically was making a video, more or less to let y'all know that once again here I am, because I was promised tomorrow, and I will be promised tomorrow. All tomorrows. And it's interesting because I know this lady who has this younger son of hers, and I'm wondering if when he's dying of old age, maybe he won't die of old age because he'll be like, man, that guy is still alive. Maybe he's right. Maybe you don't have to die because Christ conquered all that. And this guy, well, he's like so much older than me and he's still not dead. So maybe it is the next generation that will finally get it. Maybe all the people that are my generation, or even down even to the millennials and younger than that, they'll all die of old age, or however. Like, maybe I'll be like 150, 200 years old before anybody actually starts listening to me. I mean, I don't know. When your Heavenly Father sets something in front of you, but doesn't give you every single step of the process along the way, that's from your Heavenly Father. Like, if you're, pardon me for not actually breaking into this, but let's say you're John Lennon, and you imagine yourself being what he became, and you imagine what it takes to get there, and you imagine yourself through the process all the way to that point, that might not be from God. But when he puts something there for you that's provided, that shall be in your future, but doesn't exactly lay out every single step along the way, I mean, you haven't envisioned it. It wasn't your imagination. You have to have faith. See, if he gave you every single thing along the way, it's not the same thing. He does this to test your faith. He's testing lots of people's faith. He's seeing very little faith. And so anyway, yeah, there's that. Well, I gotta get some food into me. I think I'm gonna let it go at that. Love you guys. Later.